would ever associate crime with those dear old homesteads?
They always fill me with a certain horror. It's my belief, Watson, that the lowest and vilest alleys in London do not present a more dreadful record of sin than does the smiling and beautiful countryside.
No man knew the hidden face of crime better than my friend Sherlock Holmes. My name is Dr. Watson, and it was my privilege to share the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. I will tell you about the case of the copper Beeches. It began, as so often, with a letter. It made Holmes want to laugh at first, but soon he was to take it seriously, and you will see why in just a moment.
Well, it looks as though I've touched bottom at last. This note I had this morning marks my 0 point, I fancy. Here, read it.
Thank you. Dear Mr. Holmes, I'm very anxious to consult you as to whether I should or should not accept a situation which has been offered to me as governess. I shall call at 10:30 tomorrow if I do not inconvenience you. Yours faithfully, Violet Hunter. And you know the young lady?
Not I.
Well, the note was written yesterday, and it's 10:30 now.
Yes, and I have no doubt that is her ring.
Yes, well, let us hope so. But our doubts will very soon be resolved, for here, unless I'm much mistaken, is the person in question.
Oh.
You will excuse my troubling you, I hope, Mr. Holmes.
I shall be happy to do anything I can to serve you, Miss Hunter. Pray take a seat.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson.
How do you do?
How do you do, Dr. Watson? Well, Mr. Holmes, I think I should explain that I have had a very strange experience. And as I have no parents or relatives of any sort from whom I could ask advice, I thought that perhaps you would be kind enough to tell me what I should do.
A strange experience?
I have been a governess for 5 years, but my employer recently took an appointment abroad, and I found myself without a situation. I advertised and I answered advertisements, but I had no success. Then the little money I'd saved began to run short. I was at my wits' end what to do. There is a well-known agency for governesses in the West End called Westaways, and I used to call there about once a week. The manager, Miss Stoper, sits in her own little office, and the ladies who are seeking employment wait in an anteroom. They're shown in one by one, and Miss Stoper consults her ledgers and sees whether she has anything to suit them. Well, when I called last week, I was shown into the office as usual, but I found that Miss Stoper was not alone.